welcome to Survivor with Jamie, Jack, and Colleen. My name is Colleen.
I'm Jamie.
And we need flint, machete, and pot. That must be a special reward to get the pot, I'm guessing.
For those tough days.
I forget who said it, but I was like going, he just didn't say cooking pot, he just said pot. So I was like, anyway, that's where my mind went.
Well, yeah, we are here to talk about season 42, episode 1, the premiere, if you will. It's called Feels Like a Roller Coaster, which I missed who said that, but I'm going to guess Marianne.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I missed it too.
I missed it too.
2-hour premiere. We're back in it. It was kind of like Jeff gets a second start at Survivor 2.0 to say all the cheesy jokes that didn't quite land last time.
Jeff gets a second chance to wear his white shorts.
He likes his white shorts.
Yeah. So we have some of the things that came back, like the what's the die thing called? Shot in the dark. Shipwheel Island is back. The three-way idol thing is back, right?
Right.
So yeah, I guess we'll see what else as we go along is back. We have some very enthused, just like last season, where it was a season full of people who were familiar with the game. It appears that we also have a cast that is, super fans as well. A lot of enthusiasm. Jeff was super excited when he saw a shoulder get popped into its socket.
Yeah, he couldn't hold it back.
Oh my God, he was just like.
Never before seen.
Wow, I saw it. And I'm like, wow, good for you, Jeff.
It would gross me out.
It was just popping it back into place. So I don't think it would gross me out either.
It's the sound. I don't mind it when my shoulder's popping, but I don't like to hear other people's bones popping.
I like that everyone standing behind him, they all, as soon as the shirt came off, they were all like, ugh.
Yeah.
And I just wish that Daniel would have been able to see all the faces of horror that were behind him.
Now, were they saying that for the shoulder or the body?
Maybe both. Like horror and then racked with sympathy. It would flowed together.
Well, at least they didn't have to see all the MRSA infections yet.
Oh my gosh.
I would be more grossed out by seeing what went down in that season than the shoulder. But, just the amount of unbridled enthusiasm, and then I had to remind myself, that's right. This was filmed in May, June 2021, where we were, just coming out of things. We thought things were going to be back to normal. It was pre-Delta. So, yeah, right? It was a completely different time capsule of an era of the pandemic that everybody was super happy before, the new strands came and broke us all again. It was just kind of surreal seeing, seeing and knowing when they're talking about certain things that they are a whole year behind us. But yeah, did you guys like the episode overall? What were your thoughts? Any standouts of the cast after watching the first episode?
I like, on one side, I like that there seems to be an extreme lack of athleticism. There's you can't even make a whole tribe up of the athletes that are in this season. But I'm kind of bummed out that we were really stifling on the over 35 crowd is almost non-existent.
Yes, when what's his face, Rockstar, I think it was like, I'm the old person, I'm 43. I was like, oh, so that's how this is gonna go.
Yeah, it definitely was a younger group.
Yes,
and I liked Marianne right away. I liked her enthusiasm. I think she's fun. So she's my favorite so far.
Yeah, I love Marianne.
Unless she turns on a dime. But I like the opening both the challenges were, I thought, really good. I thought I couldn't understand why they were spreading blood on themselves. And someone goes, "Oh, I think it was to who was it? I forget who it was, but someone said to him, "You must be hurt really bad."
Oh yeah, who was that?
That never.
You're bleeding a lot.
You're bleeding a lot.
I said, "Why are you putting blood on yourself if you can't show?" I mean, that much blood would have to be a pretty good cut. And I was just shocked that never came up again.
He needed to say like it came from his nose or something, because that was a tremendous amount of blood to not have any cuts. Like
they were rolling around and all of that stuff.
Yeah, that's what they should have said.
It didn't need to happen, but I'm glad it did.
What they should have said is we had to go through this tunnel or something like that, and it had all this different stuff in it. But he said, I got. He said something about having a cut. I'm like going, it would show. I mean,
Yeah, like listen, we got there. There was a knife fight. It was terrifying, but I got the paddle.
Yeah.
That was a good challenge. I thought the pyramid was going to be 42 because Survivor 42. I go, maybe it's 42.
That's such a gimme though. But
I know, but it would have drove me. I couldn't have done the.
I should have paused it, and maybe I will because we're going to rewatch it. I promised Zach that we could rewatch it so he could do the bonus episode. And I might pause it to see if I can come up with what was it, 51?
51,
51? Yeah. See if I can come up with that, because I love those types of games, but I felt their anxiety, like they're recounting it 100 times, the amount of thought that was put. That was me. I felt it. I saw them. I heard them. I was there with them.
And they didn't get a notebook with a nice sharp pencil. They had that janky chalk, and you couldn't read the numbers. Kudos to them.
Yeah,
I would have thrown that chalk in the ocean and stomped on.
And I think it helped both. Was it Daniel and who was they had a big lead and she couldn't build her stick to get the key.
Mariah couldn't build the stick.
Mariah. I think they were both saved by that because they didn't have a target on their back for failing on that challenge. So that helped them.
Gave them some cushion.
Yeah. And we don't really know what targets or what was discussed because there's so much now character development and backstory that goes into which I do appreciate. Actually, I really liked. I ugly cried when Jackson told his story. Looking at the pictures of young Daniel in the hospital with leukemia and his parents, and I was like, oh God, this is awesome.
Right.
So I actually did appreciate Marianne's story about her parents, and being, as she called, weird, which Marianne were all weird. I did like that a lot. And so I honestly don't, I really don't like the 2-hour episodes, but I really do like getting the backstory. So I don't know, maybe less commercials and make it 90 minutes. I don't know.
They start out great with no commercials, and then after that it's like commercial.
Oh my God,
like,
I know.
Oh my God, already again?
Because I was trying to get
rotation.
Yeah, I was trying to make lunch in between, and the first hour we had no commercials, and then I think I applied full face of makeup and switched out the laundry in the washer and the dryer in one commercial break, and peed. I was like, oh, this is still not back.
It breaks the flow of the show with all those commercials.
It does. It does, especially when it interrupts in the middle of conversations. They're pretty good about cutting out right after a confessional, but you kind of want to see some of those conversations at least feel like they were longer than 2 seconds, so that when you go into tribal, you think you know what's going on, even if you don't.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. So who do we think were standout characters? Because until about 40 minutes in, an hour and 40 minutes in, I would have said Jackson is a standout character, and then womp womp.
Would you have said that you had that you're getting off lithium, and
was he getting off it or was he still taking it?
I thought he was off it.
Well, he had explained that his wife, who was a nurse, had helped him dose it out so that he had been weaned off of it, so he was weaning off of it. So when he would go on island, it wouldn't be an abrupt, all of a sudden, no medication. But they did say, or Jeff said that they knew about it.
They knew about it like 2 days before.
He told them the day before.
Yeah, right before he told them. There's also a throwaway comment as they came back from commercial before that happened, where somebody says to him, Jackson, drink some more water because you said you've been nauseous or dizzy for 10 hours. Right. So I'm wondering if perhaps there were more medical side effects that we didn't see. And
surely they weren't going to include that in their 50 minutes worth of commercials, so I could sum it up all nicely in the conversation. But that makes me think about like how many medications are actually allowed for the contestants, because I mean, so many of specifically those types of medications, I mean, those are common side effects. Like, you're more sensitive for heat stroke, and I mean, like, blood pressure medicine has a long list of these side effects.
Yeah.
But would you have told them?
I think you have to, right? Especially,
you probably have to disclose.
Well, he didn't during the whole interviewing process.
Clearly not.
Yeah.
So at that point, I'd be like,
I would think that you would have to, just for a medicine like that could actually, like Jamie just said, in the heat have like actual repercussions. That you would probably want to, just to be safe, make sure that, medical knows, because they should know. I'm
really on the fence about, like, on one hand, I really feel bad for Jackson, but on the other hand, I feel really bad for his tribe.
Yes.
And for whoever could have had that spot.
Right.
Because it is not an easy show to get on. Most people who try out for it every year for 15 years. So, and
it sounds like he knew he wasn't. It sounded like he knew he wasn't going to be able to go far.
It sounds like he knew that was going to be a deal breaker, and maybe that's why he was trying to wean down the dosage. Maybe.
Yeah.
But I believe like you're allowed to still take like birth control and medications that aren't affected by like the elements. Correct?
Sure.
Yeah.
I would assume so. They don't want people to, as long as it's not going to affect your direct health.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jamie. I think he took someone else's spot.
Yeah, and I want to I really do want to just feel bummer for him, but I have a hard time.
So
and they can't have like an alternate. I suppose having an alternate is a little bit more difficult with the COVID restrictions being what they were. And
I bet you they had an alternate. I bet you they had alternates that had to be in quarantine too. They always do, because they always do. Remember the first Blood versus Water? RC and her dad were supposed to. The day before, he failed that last medical check. And then who was it that was like, tagged to come in?
Replacement?
Yeah.
I don't remember who their replacement
I know, I don't remember either off the top of my head. Maybe somebody in the chat can tell us. But, so I know that they're checking you up until the last minute. But... And maybe that's when it was disclosed, but maybe his wife was like, you make sure you tell him, and he went as far as he could. Yeah. But that being said,
I felt bad for him.
I did. I felt bad too. It was a bummer, but and my theory is that they were going to have two tribes go to tribal council, and they made it just be the one tribe because they knew that they were down a player.
Sure.
And this was a good way to, because I guarantee you that when the articles come out talking about this episode, the fact that we could go three ways, right? Like, it could be, Survivor put this person in knowing that they might have a maximum of 48 hours in the game, and they used them to get their story out there to make them look like a more woke, socially justice show, and we could have that criticism.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask that too. If you think there was just a little bit of a push because Jeff was saying, we were so enthusiastic about you, and it was like, absolutely yes, we have to get him on. So maybe if it wasn't just a matter of like, we need a chunk of story that really means something to people.
It was quite a story.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It was a great story. It was moving. And then we could also have what you guys were saying, which was the he took somebody else's, Or it could go, which I think the third way and the more likely way that CBS is hoping to lemonade this is that they'll say, yes, we had this player. We were hoping that he would make it longer, but we're happy to we're the old person's network, CBS, to expose our viewers to, more of the transgender community and have an open discussion about mental health and taking medication for mental health. And we wanted to have it in a, more not positive, but in a more open, non-negative light. Because it wasn't because the only other times we've really talked about Survivor, mental health and Survivor was what Brandon Hance having a meltdown and Jeff having to take him by the shoulders and massage him to be don't punch me in the face, don't go nuclear on this.
Yeah, that was a really negative interaction. I mean, the whole
right,
so much anger.
So I wonder if it was a bit of using, which is, kind of icky, but at the same time, if it has a positive to it, maybe they kind of just weigh the options. I don't know, chat people. You guys can weigh in too. But I really like Jackson. I'm glad we got to have a little bit of him, and I am sorry that we won't get to see him more.
Same.
Okay, let's move on. Are you guys happy to have Shipwheel Island back? Because, spoiler alert, I was like, oh, we're doing this again.
That's where they go.
I like
the protect your vote or risk your vote.
There you go. You know what I like most about that whole thing? It isn't so much the protect your vote or risk your vote. It's that you have to willingly get on the boat in front of everybody in your tribe.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel like that's the edge in that more than, I mean, sometimes that, like tonight, obviously could help you if it goes your way. But it's the stepping onto the boat. I like that the one tribe drew straws. That's a different way of doing it. That way you're not having to, make a showcase of it. But
still, you never want to leave your tribe. And this time they didn't show us the return, so we don't know what story they came up with. It's just did all three come up with? Did they come up with the same story? Because the last season they did. They had the same story. They all came back.
Yeah,
and
they
were honest
talked about it and made an agreement or something first, didn't they?
Yes.
Well, and that could have long-term, whatever they come back with and say could develop a long-term repercussion or benefit to their game. Because depending on if people take it as if you were really honest and they believe you, that's one way to play the game. But if you come back and lie and then someone catches you in that lie, it totally shifts your game into a different direction, which could be a benefit. Could not. But.
Okay, question. Do you guys feel robbed that we didn't get to hear the discussion of the cover story with the blood in the mud in the beginning?
Yes.
Yes. I should have shown it if we weren't going to get to hear it.
Yeah, that was a big deal, I thought, because like I said earlier, someone did comment on all the blood.
It was commented on at least twice. I heard two comments. One, oh my God, they're covered in blood, and then wow, you're bleeding a lot.
How come you haven't passed out?
Yeah, no worries. I'm fine. I just combust occasionally.
So, yeah, right.
You got a bleeder. The Franks and beans. Okay, anyway.
So, I'm trying to think. Okay. Excuse me. We had some really nice one-on-one moments, too, with, the tribe members. We had that Jack and, is it Hi? How do you pronounce it? Hi. Jack and Hi had that moment, which, first of all, when they were bonding over, the highest I've ever been was 2018, I'm like, you know what? I don't like either of you right now.
You say Jack or Zach?
Zach and Romeo. Zach and Romeo.
Jack.
Sorry, Zach and Romeo.
I'm going
Romeo, yes.
I don't remember seeing a Jack there.
Yeah, they were both they're just tiny little dudes.
Zach's life might have been saved because he only weighs 118.
Yeah.
How much could you lose?
Right? Oh my God.
And still be all right.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder what their heights are. I mean, they're obviously sort of petite. But,
I would say no bigger than 5'8", 5'9".
Yeah, they kind of.
Some 5'6", maybe a 5'6" in there.
They kind of have that body type, like Alex has. Just
Put Jonathan in the
skinny
same
with
group
no,
too, right?
skinny with no like body, like no hips, no anything. Wait, what'd you say? Put who?
I said put Jonathan in the same group as Romeo and Zach, right?
Which one is Jonathan?
He's the bruh.
Oh, him. That's right.
Bruh.
You guys got to call him Guinness Book of World Records.
Yeah.
He was pretty. I thought he was pretty cool, though. I thought he was definitely carrying his tribe.
He was fairly chill. Roxroy.
I don't know why but when he was out of the boat, pulling him back to their spot. Why didn't everyone just get out of the boat?
I don't know.
I didn't understand that. I was like going,
yeah.
Let the record show.
Stay in the boat?
I'm holding my hands up and shaking my head because
he was pulling him, but it would have gone a lot faster if they just had the. If they didn't have everyone, unless they had to stay in the boat. I don't know if they had to stay in the boat. So.
Yeah. So I didn't anticipate this, but Jenny was fairly toned down, which I thought she was gonna be a lot more than she was. Therapist chick. What's her name?
Tori.
Tori's the therapist?
Yes.
Okay. I thought that she's the therapist, really?
Yeah.
Plot twist.
No, I thought it was Lindsay. Lindsay's the therapist.
I'm pretty sure it's
Tori's
Tori.
Tori.
Tori?
Because she told her when she
used her therapy knowledge to be able to manipulate people and understand.
Because she told everyone she's a caregiver.
Her nerds,
Okay.
She's a caregiver.
I guess Lindsay's the other blonde one, so I just must be confusing all my blondes. I thought Lindsay, I thought Tori, I thought that there were going to be more people that were like a 10 right out of the gate that weren't. And it could be because that took a sideline, like a back seat to the story that we actually saw.
Right.
But I did not think that Roxroy was going to come out as hot as he did, but man, he sure did.
And I love the music. It was military music. Like general, I think it might have been patent music. I go, oh, dude, you got to tone it down.
Yeah.
You're just, and I get it. When you're busting your butt and you hear 3 other people up there singing and dancing and all that, you're like going, all right, they need to get to work. We got to get this done. And then you ask, is it Drea? He said, am I coming on too strong? Yeah, you need to tone it down.
Tone it down a little bit. And it's funny because, like, okay, well, I'm, a stay-at-home dad, and I'm used to wrangling kids, but also your children are really, really small. So maybe tone it down at home, too. Just saying. Pretty rough and stuff.
Yes, sir!
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I've been around military families. That's sometimes how it is.
Yeah, Roxroy, he's not a cat herder. I'm like, but you're a stay-at-home dad. That's like your definition. I'm a cat herder every morning. Like, I don't understand.
But being around kids all day long can drive you crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it can.
I may know something about that.
I don't know how you do it.
Yeah. Well, I had to used to take my kids to work with me, so it's just an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
Early grade, but what are you gonna do?
Well, you could always just try out for Survivor again. Just, don't tell them about the lithium.
Yeah, okay. I won't tell them about that.
Yep, keep that.
What about all the other drugs?
Well, as we know, pot is okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you can win the pot. Can't bring your own, but you can win theirs.
That does make me curious what is allowed and what isn't. Because was it Kathy who had to quit because she needed to take her medicine and wasn't taking it?
I'm not sure, but that sounds about right.
Okay, because I thought that there had been somebody that had quit because of that.
I think it was Kathy.
Okay. Because, I take medicine for anxiety, and I wonder if, like...
I'm pretty sure that, 85%
of, America takes it.
Does at this point.
Or the world, rather, yes. Or they should.
Because everything's fine. Everything's perfect. Whatever.
Especially right now.
Yeah,
right.
It's all good.
Yeah, right? I mean... Can you imagine being, filming Survivor and, having the threat of nuclear war being like...
Oh, my gosh.
And not even knowing. And then coming back and being like, oh, well,
I know. Big
well,
Brother
glad
Canada.
I was away.
Yeah,
that's
Big
true.
Brother Canada is happening right now, and I don't think that they know what's going on
Very
in
true.
the world.
Yeah, Fiji is kind of far from everything, so that actually might be the only place that you're still safe.
Might be all right.
that you come off and like the whole world is gone. Like, where is everybody?
The iguanas seem to do quite well there. So if you could, figure out how they do things, you'll be all right.
Very true. We got our token snake, swimming into the beach shot.
That's when I was applying for Survivor. I go, all right, I'm sure they have something to keep the snakes away.
They have a wrangler. They have animal handlers.
Yeah, I don't know. That thing looked like it was pretty...
That's how they always get those lovely snakes, like up on the signposts, the tribe signs and stuff. So
that makes sense.
Well, I learned in 1883, watching that, you just put a rope around where you're sleeping, and the snakes won't cross it. At least that's what Tim McGraw said.
Huh. If Tim McGraw and Sam Elliott say that this is true, and it is a fact.
Interesting. Well, I would imagine that all the bright lights and whatnot probably scare the snakes away. It's when you're sleeping and it's dark that you'd have to put the rope around you.
Yeah.
But anyway,
you're still allowed to bring what was it used to bring, a comfort item or something like that?
Yes.
My comfort item would be rope. Now, would you bring rope?
Get out of here. That's my snake and rope.
What are you talking about?
No, we're not using it to tie anything up. I need it to sleep.
Some people put salt around the doors to keep demons out. You put rope around your bed to keep the snakes from crawling.
Exactly. I don't know where these snakes are at.
Oh my gosh. Okay, getting back to it.
I wanted to talk about Drea. Do you think is it Drea?
Drea.
Do you think she's coming on too strong? I'm gonna go for advantages. I don't care.
Maybe
because she got strong, or is she just not wishy-washy?
She's not wishy-washy, but I did like the fact that when she was talking to, was it Romeo?
Yes.
Yeah, she said, "Okay, how do you want me to vote?"
Yeah.
I mean, he did, and it turned out they didn't vote for Tori, but when she goes, "I'm getting on the boat. I don't care." She just said, "I don't care. I'm getting all the advantages I can get, and so far it's paid off."
Yeah, power to her, because that's not me.
But usually that'll put a target on your back, though, if people find out that you're...
I think you have to have, like, a certain kind of, like, attitude that, like, doesn't make people think that you're sneaky.
Totally do it.
Yeah, like, certain people totally could. And
if I tried it, they'd be like...
Right, like, if I tried it, if Tori had tried it, if Zach had tried it, instant targets. Yeah. But, like, if Shan had tried it... she would have probably been fine. They would have been like,
but remember,
please find an idol for us, so mighty Shan. Because in her first tribe, they loved her.
Well, Shan was good. Shan was good until she started not eating. Yeah. And then she got to, it's my way, my way, my way, my way. And then the target was on her back.
She got really protective over sliced fruit.
Yes. Mango!
Oh my gosh.
Like me and my rope. So it's like, I understand.
She should have brought a snake and mango.
There you go. Snake and mango. Anyways, any other players that we want to talk about before we talk about who inevitably got voted off?
How quick were they willing to get rid of Brock, though? Rocks, whatever his name is.
Oh, Rocks Roy. Okay.
I said I was going to call him Rock.
I love that name. Rocks Roy is such a badass name.
But he builds the shelter. We don't need him anymore. I think.
Yeah, I know.
Said that. I was like, going,
"Get him out of here."
God, that's harsh. But I think it was it Drea or someone said, or was it Romeo said, "No, we need him for the challenges."
And he was, but Drea kept saying, "No, we don't. I did everything myself. Exactly. I pulled it all."
So I turned around and they were just sitting having tea, and it was me pulling this thing.
That was a tough challenge.
That was tough.
Yeah.
But that looked like a lot of what they were doing is like literal heavy lifting. And I feel like if you don't have a certain upper body strength mixed with leg length, like how difficult that would be to be able to get it up onto things. And I just don't see a lot of tall people out there either. So
wouldn't it be, I always think it'd be easier to turn around and go backwards and push with your legs, with your back up against the boat, because now you have some leverage. Right. And nobody did it.
But you also don't want to hurt your back.
Well, I don't think you're going to hurt your back if you got the boat up against it.
But clearly they can't move in sand, because we saw literally everybody fall in that first challenge. Like they couldn't run for more than 2 feet. So they were still getting their sand legs underneath them.
Yeah.
And couldn't you use the oars, put the oars on the sand and push it on the oars.
Oh.
Instead of, I go, use the oars.
Do you hear that, future Survivor players?
That's how they built the pyramids, right?
Or aliens, we're not sure. But,
because pushing anything in sand is, anyone who's been to the beach knows that sand is a pain.
Yeah.
Who was the girl that didn't?
Marianne didn't wear shoes. That sand gets hot. I cannot believe that she climbed that mountain with no shoes.
Yeah, I don't know. Was it not Lindsay? I forget who it was. Was it Lydia? Someone said they didn't like sand. They didn't like this. Like that. I go, you're in the wrong.
Yeah.
She's the one that said after day 2, I'm glad I'm not crying. I'm proud of myself.
Oh, yes. Was that Lydia? I wrote it down.
I think it was Lydia.
Yeah. And you know what? I feel that. I can't judge her for that. I'd be like, day 2 and I haven't cried? Yes.
I don't. I'm
Well,
not
you
crying.
have to think about it, though.
I'm not crying.
Even
You're
just
crying.
like the detoxing from like food and whatnot too, that would probably make me cry more than anything else. I'd be like, can I please just have a Kit Kat and a beer?
You saw their face when they said no rice. No rice.
They got scared quick.
Yeah.
All right. Any last thoughts? Zach. Poor Zach. I felt terrible. I liked him.
I was so bummed.
I was super bummed. I was rooting for him because of his name. The end.
Yeah, I'll be.
My Zach is going to be really bummed out. Stay tuned to hear what he has to say in the bonus episode whenever we record that.
Well, they needed to keep the tribe strong.
Yes.
Yeah, he wasn't bringing a lot of muscle with his 118-pound self.
Yeah, but Romeo is 112 pounds.
But Mr. 112 pounds didn't brutally fail at a puzzle, so
that puzzle.
Lucky him.
That puzzle was kind of painful. I always feel bad
it looked pretty rough.
Yeah. And the moment I knew he was going home, when Jeff said, you can say the fire's life phrase, and I was like, oh, Jeff is totally giving him like a good game, like,
right?
You can have this moment, you cute little boy that will never be back. Like, I've been doing it. I've done it 41 other times. It's you're go for it.
Come
on in, you.
That like in the second. Let's go with the second half of Survivor's history, U.S. Survivor's history. It seems like the first vote is always the like really enthusiastic super fan, or like the quiet girl that can't connect with somebody right off the bat. It's always one of those two. And that always really bums me out because I am consistently a sucker for the underdog. And I'm like, I see me in you and I see me in you. And I would like never, short of like Cochrane season, I have never picked a winner from like the first match.
Oh, man.
Can't do it. I hate it. I hate first tribal. I never like it.
Well, would you give up a pinky finger to not have to go?
Give up 2.
Maybe I would keep my digits. I think I would keep my digits.
It doesn't look too bad. What did he I don't know.
Yeah, what was that claw?
I go, what are you doing?
Yeah, Jeff was like, it's fine. I'm good. And I'm like, wow, Jeff, you've been in quarantine for too long.
I was thinking, I go, there's people out there that don't have their digits.
That are missing
I go, are you insulting them now? Or are you going to have to come back and say something at Survivor 43?
Yep.
And he'll be like, hey.
To make it right.
You see all the issues we brought attention to tonight? I'm okay with the digit people coming after me.
Unless you're the one without the digits. So.
Well, I don't disagree with you there. I'm just speaking as Jeff.
Somebody has to.
Yes.
Somebody has to.
There we are. One more thing. I was very surprised that Jenny protected her vote. I thought that she was going to risk it first.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I did.
I knew Drea was going to go the way she did.
Yeah.
I just felt she was going to do that.
I thought
up until that point, she hasn't given you any other reason to think otherwise. But...
Right. My money was on Marianne protecting and the other two risking.
Yeah, I could see that with Marianne. She's an interesting person because she's awesome and super enthusiastic, and I love her. And I'm really curious to see what this game... I don't want to say what this game does to her because that sounds really like foreboding, but I really want to see what it does for her or like brings out of her, because clearly when they had to say like that Jackson was leaving, she was very emotional about it.
I didn't know who it was at first because they weren't showing.
Oh, I knew. I was like, oh, who else is going to be crying like that? She smiles the smiles and she feels all the feels. She sobs the sobs.
All of it, right? And
it was like
tell she wears her heart on her sleeve.
And
that can be really a bad thing for this game, but it could also be something where like people just can't get rid of her for a while because they just can't be the person that does it. So it'll be interesting.
We'll see. It'll definitely be interesting. But I like her a lot.
I agree with you that I thought she would protect her vote. Like that seemed more like what she would have done.
Yeah, I wonder if we're in some kind of like, arc where she learns, gets that like I have a backbone now arc kind of thing where, you know.
Well, didn't she say she might have trouble backstabbing people or something? Who said that? Someone said it.
All I know is I think it was Hi, who said he grew up lonely and he had no problem changing alliances and screwing over and over.
Kid.
Yeah.
Because someone said I'm a Christian and sometimes Christians have problems.
Yes, that's Marianne. Because
Okay.
she's in seminary school, isn't she? To be a pastor?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good talk. Let's move over to the tally the vote and the preseason picks. Jay sent me these in two separate tabs, so you're gonna have to bear with me. I know, right? Seriously. I don't even remember how he does this. And also, spoiler alert, I don't think I've ever shared my screen on StreamYard. I do it on Zoom all the time. We might have to switch to Zoom next week, ladies and gentlemen. Share screen. Here we go. Oh, works best with two monitors. Well, that's not going to happen. Chrome.
Works best with or only option. Those are different.
Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So I'm not sure why I'm sharing this. Just something preseason picks. Let's see.
Oh, Marianne's my final three? No, it's not Marianne.
That's Mariah. That's I don't think Mariah was going far. Sorry. When she was doing the thing and struggling, Jay was like, "Who is that?" I was like, "That's the one you said last week you had a crush on."
Why don't you, when you tie the stick, go up over? It would make it. I don't know. So
Marianne, we three of us had her merge, and Jamie had her pre-merge. As far as Zach goes, Jamie had him final three.
Told you.
Jack was the only one that had him pre-merge. So, hold on.
I want to point out too that when we were talking about Jackson, how they handled it. He said, and when they voted Zach off, second person voted off. So maybe they're trying to make it seem like he was voted. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're trying to cover their bases. Because I said, well, he wasn't voted off.
He wasn't. You're right.
Okay, tally total. Right now, Jack has 1 point.
Jack.
Is that how we decided to do this? Oh, it's so complicated. It's so overly, unnecessarily complicated. Is there a guide? Did he leave me a guide? Okay.
I don't know.
Pre-merge, you get 1 point. After the merge, you need to give points for Jackson. Okay, so I just got a note that we need to give points for Jackson.
Oh, because Jackson wasn't.
Jay had him merge. Jack had him merge. I had him pre-merge, and Jamie had him pre-merge. So I believe that Jamie and I both get points for Jackson.
That shouldn't count because he wasn't voted out.
But he didn't make it, so that's what we're going with here.
Well, there's my celebrations already over.
All right, so we're all tied at the end of week 1. We are tied. Winner pick. Does anybody? Honestly, I have no idea. So I am gonna have Jamie's. You all have 1 point each. Yes, thank you, Jay. He must be watching on a delay. We got there, but I appreciate it. Text me your winner's pick if you're watching. Oh, you didn't watch it. Sorry, you can't. JK.
Actually, I don't think it matters.
I don't think it matters either. I honestly, I don't get winner's vibes from Marianne. I don't get winners vibes from. I don't get winners vibes from really anybody. I kind of had winners vibes from Jackson, and that all just went to hell 2 minutes later. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's really just guessing. I mean, just like point at one.
Right.
That's how I feel it is at this point. Just point at
Jamie, you're the newbie, so
right.
you're gonna get hazed, and you have to go first with your winner's pick.
Okay, I see, I battled with this for like a half hour. I'm really battled between Hai and Jenny K, but you know what? I'm just gonna go with Hai because I like Hai. That's it. That's
okay.
it. That's the only thing I got. I like him, so fingers crossed. Then he's not gone next week.
Okay, hold on. Let me change colors. I'll let you pick a color. How about orange?
Oh well,
I'll let you pick a color. How about orange?
Well, because the fire, I was just matching the thing on the thing.
I'm totally okay with orange. That's
okay,
good.
cool.
Good.
Jack, because I'm going with purple. It's not up for debate.
Can I have purple?
No.
Oh. I'm gonna go with Romeo.
Really?
Unless he starves to death, but I
Oh yeah, where do you go down? Where do you go down from 112?
Especially when you're not eating. I mean, but that's the only thing. I think he seemed pretty smart. He was able to talk Drea off, the ledge there, and she listened.
And he seemed to know when to listen to the rest of the group too.
I would have picked Drea, but I think she's going to be too much of looking for idols and stuff like that, and people are going to figure her out and vote her out.
I wanted to logically just because she's like the one person that's like, I'm here to play, right. But how that goes.
Usually the person that says they're here to play doesn't last more than like third vote.
I did like how Zach and Tori already day 3 were not going to work with each other.
But you know what? I love that they
pointed out about the body language.
Yeah.
I love that they were so out in the open about it. They were like, I don't like you.
But Zach was wrong. She didn't throw him under the bus.
No. But there must have been something said because that sarcastic comment at Tribal, it felt like there was more behind it. Like there had been an argument.
Well, she did say you were great at puzzles.
Oh my God. That was, snaps for that. That was deliciously petty. I mean, I loved it.
I do enjoy a good handful of snark.
Oh, it was so petty.
Yeah, I don't love Tori yet. Don't love her.
No, I don't love her yet either. But
she's gonna be if she stays. She'll be good TV though, because she's not afraid. She's not afraid to.
But and don't forget, we didn't like what's her name from Long Island last season, New Jersey.
Right.
Mafia wife. What was her name?
Yeah, Heather. Was it Heather?
No.
Oh, the one that eventually got voted out.
Yeah, she was the merge vote. Was it Heather?
I'm pretty sure it was.
We didn't really like her.
It turned out that she's actually awesome, and I was super wrong. So
yeah, like we didn't like her the first couple of episodes, and then
was it Tiffany?
Tiffany. It was Tiffany.
Yes,
and then by like the 3rd or 4th episode, we were like, Tiffany's pretty cool actually. So
and she if the tribe was better, she might have stayed around a little longer.
Yeah.
Okay, I am torn. I'm torn between Daniel, Jenny, and Roxroy because I could see all of them going really far.
I like Daniel.
I like Daniel a lot. I don't know if he's gonna go. I don't know if he can make it.
He was favoring his shoulder again during the final challenge.
Oh, was he? I don't think I noted that.
Yeah, I mean, it's still when you separate your shoulder, it's gonna.
Right, he did have a dislocated shoulder like a day before
shoulder,
that.
So
yeah.
And shoulder pain can be painful. So
yeah.
Anyway, I did notice he was kind of hanging his arm down, and that's a sign when you have a bad shoulder.
Yeah. All right, I'm torn now.
Any help for lifting?
No.
I'm torn between Roxroy and Jenny. I want to say Jenny, but I didn't get a strong enough vibe from her. I'm going to go with Roxroy because he's probably more likely to be voted out, and then I can just change my winner's pick.
And honestly, though, if he can listen to other people like he did on this one, where she said, take it down a little bit. If he's willing to hear what other people are saying, he could navigate himself just fine.
But can you do that for 26 days when you're
No.
not eating properly, not sleeping properly? It's hard.
It does.
I mean, obviously, it should be a little easier because you're not doing 39 days, right? But still, your personality eventually comes through.
I mean, like by day 5 of not being fed adequately and not sleeping, no one's going to be the best version of themselves.
Yeah.
That's true. I don't know. Ask a new parent. They might be really good at playing Survivor because they're already used to not sleeping.
No, they want to go on Survivor to get some sleep.
So Miami Mike says in the chat that he would pick Romeo.
I don't feel so confident about my pick now.
All right, let's real quickly. Who do you think is going home? And then we have 2 really quick emails, and we can have the premiere wrapped up in the books. Jamie, who do you think is going home next week?
I am gonna cross my fingers for Tori.
Tori, all right.
It could be Tori. Let's see. I'm gonna go Lydia.
That's a solid pick.
I mean, I don't know why, but
I'm gonna go Drea. I think if that team goes back, I think she could rock the boat enough to get herself accidentally voted out, or unintentionally voted out, rather. So there we go. We've got, I think we did this right. I think we did the tally right. Fingers crossed. Doesn't matter now. We've taken over.
It seems right.
All right. All right. We have 2 quick emails to read.
I'm just upset that Jay's not here to interrupt you.
You know, I actually got who was it? Oh, it was in a Facebook group where Mandy wanted to know the over-under of how many times I'd be interrupted. And it was like, well, joke's on you.
I saw that. I go, I can't just do it. I'll look like a jerk if I'm just doing it. So
if you're the lone sire.
Yeah, so I got to be quiet now. In fact, I'll just
you can do it. It's fine. It's fine. And Jamie, if you want to interrupt me, you can interrupt me too. I'm interruptible. Right. It's fine. Okay. I interrupt everyone. It's karma. It's where it's my arena that equals me with everyone else when I read the feedback. And yeah, you guys can just
sometimes a gift is a curse, and sometimes it's a gift.
Our first email is from Shandy, and it's JJJC. Hey there. I'm sad to see Jay take a step back, but you couldn't have found a better replacement. I'm excited to hear what Jamie has to say each week because she killed it on the episode she was on last season. I just had to write in and say that I love the Golden Shandy appearance on your preview show. XOXO Shandy. Oh my God, I forgot that I showed the Golden Shandy.
I did not forget that. So Shandy's saying her favorite episode was the one I wasn't in.
Yes, because you were in Disney.
Okay, all right, whatever.
Have you lifted?
Whatever. I'm next time I'm over at
you
the
got
house.
long legs, Jack, because that's some heavy lifting in the sand, buddy.
So I don't know if the Golden Shandy will survive my next trip to Jay and Colleen's house.
How are you going to break the Golden Shandy?
Well, we'll see.
Will it hurt you just a little bit to break it?
Maybe I don't break it. Maybe I just hide it somewhere.
Like I have to do every time my family comes over.
Exactly.
I do.
I'm just really hoping you adorn it with like a little hat and maybe a mustache. It could be in disguise. No one will recognize it.
No, I have my little RBG. I have to take the gavel away from her because my 2.5-year-old nephew stays in this room and he is a get into everything kind of person. So anything that I don't want to show up randomly.
That would be funny seeing him run around with it.
Oh, that would be hilarious, right?
Maybe next time I give it
actually, this was in my printer. Last time that he stayed in this room, this was in my printer. I don't know where it came from
that's a Picasso, isn't it?
It was, but literally it was just sitting in where the paper slug goes. And I was like, oh, Wyatt was here.
At least you knew where the paper went.
So, good times. Yeah, right? At least there's a beautiful picture that has been sitting on the floor next to me for the last month. Anyway, the second email is from Mandy.
Mandy.
We're back, baby! Exclamation point, exclamation point. And Mandy says, in honor of Jay's retirement, I told the girls that we're going to play the Jay game instead of a draft. The best part is, like Jay, I hold the spreadsheet so I can make up / change the rules as we go. Also,
which he denies, but it's true.
Yeah. Also, how stupid is the name Amulet? That's the best they can come up with. She took a picture of her screen, her spreadsheet of the J game.
Oh, we forgot to talk about that's a new twist, isn't it?
Which
where
one?
They have to vote, where they all three have it, but it gains power if they can get the other ones out.
Yes,
I like that.
That's kind of like Jeff heard you and did what you wanted.
Yes.
Finally.
Yes.
Seriously.
Jeff.
Now, if only they would let you play.
Exactly.
Dude, at this point, you're of the age and demeanor that you could be a cantankerous Keith stick to the plan.
Well, someone said that. I think it was Rock said it, didn't he? Just stick to the plan. Yeah, stick to the plan.
All you got to do is come up with one really silly catchphrase that gets your son voted out, and like, we could.
They need to bring Keith back again.
Oh, I do like Keith. He's fun. Yeah. Anyway, all right.
Underrated player. He went far. He didn't get voted out each time, right? He went pretty deep.
He did go pretty deep in the game. He also wrote a tuk-tuk, and it was the best experience of his life.
Yeah.
Love that. Love that scene. I still think of it sometimes when I need to like go to a happy place. I'm like, Keith on a tuk-tuk. Pure joy. Be the Keith. All right. Anyway, on that note, everyone, Miami Mike also wants to know, am I going to do drawings of the patrons like Matt every week? No, I can't, but I do have a glitter painting by a 2.5-year-old up for grabs.
That's as good as anything Matt does.
Nobody will ever get the golden shandy from me. That's it. We retired that game as soon as I won. I was like, that's it. Maybe if you win this year, I'll send it to you, Jamie. No, I won't. I'll buy you your own golden shandy.
Again, I maybe I would just lose on purpose.
I would get you something different, Jack.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I don't know what, but maybe
I'd probably end up putting it. My grandkids probably put it on my chair and end up sitting on it. So.
Oh. Ooh, that's a visual.
Yeah.
Anybody that knows what the golden shandy is, that's a visual right there. Okay, on that Shandy, the real Shandy, its namesake, is laughing hysterically right now. I know it. I can hear her in my mind. All right. Anyway, on that note, everyone, thank you so much for watching in the chat tonight. Thank you for listening on the streams, however you're listening. We appreciate it. If you'd like to send us an email, SurvivorJJC@gmail.com. I know there was a comment about changing the artwork. I have to email Jacob. I'm sure it's an easy fix to update the Y with an MIE. So we'll get that artwork done soon. Sorry about that.
I didn't even notice.
Honestly, I didn't even think about it, and I'm sorry. I should have. And Jay sent me the.
As the producer, you should.
I should have. He sent me the thing today, and I was like, "Oh, can you change your name to Jamie's name?" And he was like, "Oh, that's a Jacob thing. Like I just used his template, and I always just wrote over it, on my own." Huh. And I was like, "Oh my God, you know what he should do? Forget it. We don't need Jacob. I'm gonna have Jay put an X over in like Microsoft Paint, just an X over his name, and then just type in like typewriter font your name over it. Boom. Done. There we go. It's a joke that'll get at least 3 weeks of play.
And that's what we need.
Exactly. Anyway, thank you everybody though. We love to have people in the chat interacting and feedback and all that stuff. Except
for Miami Mike.
Well, yeah, but beggars can't be choosers. No, I'm just kidding. Seriously though, if you do have a moment, I would love to hear, whether it's in the Facebook group or email or whatever, who you think is going to win this season, because I truly could not get any vibes of who was, usually, first episode last year, we're like, oh, Shan's got it. She's got the swagger. She's got it. And I don't know who has it, except for the dude that got medevac.
Yep.
All right. Thank you to the patrons, especially the patrons that contribute a certain level, and that we Tack from Tokyo, Eckhart Rickner, Maggie the Magnificent, Joanne with a Plan, and Ed the creepy poopy head mailman. If you'd like to become a patron, and you can go to patreon.com/jandjack, and that helps all the shows on the network. We do have a lot of other shows on the network. Right now, Amazing Race with Jack and Cindy just finished, but if you're catching up, go back. They have their own feed. Go back, or the whole enchilada feed has all the shows on the network. You can go back and listen to it there. The broadcast with Amanda, Shandy, and Colleen, the Ramblecast After Dark. Those are the 3 that are active right now in this one. But as TV seasons start to come back, there'll be more shows on it. And if you do miss Jay and you want to see him, you're on the YouTube watching this, or if you've got a computer, you can go to Geek Dad Life, because that's where he is primarily focusing his creative activities right now. So, all right. On that note, everybody, it is time for me to go to sleep. I'm a changed woman. I try to go to sleep early nowadays. Early.
Same here.
Responsibility.
I know. It's crazy. All right. I don't know how to end this.
I'm on homeschool schedule, girl. I don't go to sleep till like 2 a.m. That's just how it is.
I don't think I could do that.
I can't do that anymore.
Yeah, because you've got kids
the last
at 6
hour
o'clock.
of it, but
Well, All right. I don't know how to end this, so we're just going to end this. Bye.
Hasta luego.
I'm Colleen.
And goodbye.
Peace out. Thanks, guys.